I want to shift our focus to the Jazz, though, because, Nick, they were pretty close to pushing the Rockets to a Game 6. Just those last plays at the end kind of undid them. Going into this summer, after this series, are you optimistic or pessimistic?
Pessimistic.
Really?
They have all the look to me of a team that's really fun to watch in the regular season, but a regular season team that can't turn it on to some next level once the playoffs begin. And Rach, when you have the kind of roster that they have with Donovan Mitchell, he's great, although he had his flaws in this series. I just don't know where he's going to get the kind of help that's going to take them from one point to the next. And that's what you need in the playoffs. You can rack up regular season wins with a solid roster, a good coach, they play hard. That's all great. In the playoffs, it's a different story. And when you don't have that kind of help and guys you trust around you, this is what you see sometimes.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit on the optimistic side. I don't think we expected them to beat Houston, and they were in those games a lot of times. It just came down to they missed open shots. They missed a lot of open shots in this series. We talked about their quality of shot being good. And what they do have is a luxury, and that luxury is called Derrick Favors, because they've been running this two-big lineup and then, one or the other on the floor. But really, you don't need Derrick Favors if Rudy Gobert is there. I know if Rudy Gobert goes down, it's nice to have Derrick Favors. But that's someone who's an excellent defensive big, who's a great rebounder, and a good finisher in the paint. You can trade that guy somewhere to get you some help on the perimeter in terms of a more creative offensive player or better shooting.
See, I don't even think they need to do that. If we can stick that up again, they've got, what, $37 million in cap room?
Who's coming to Utah, though?
But Nick, you don't need, we throw that free agency chart up all the time, right? We have these big fancy names, and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They don't need one of, it'd be nice if one of those guys decided to drop in on Salt Lake, but they don't need one of those guys. They've got Donovan Mitchell, they've got Rudy Gobert. I think they can overpay for shooting a little bit in a tough market where everybody wants that, pick up some 3-and-D guys, and all of a sudden now you are making those open shots that you're talking about. You've got a great coach.
Right.
They've got an organizational advantage, the way we always talk about, right? It'd be great if the top row dropped in on Salt Lake City, but you don't necessarily need those guys.
I would say two things. One, can create $37 million in cap space means, for instance, waiving the non-guaranteed contract with Derrick Favors. I think that would probably be a worse idea than trying to find a trade partner for him. But the other thing is, I think they need more than 3-and-D guys. 3-and-D guys are great.
Yep.
More 3-and-D guys are always good. But they need someone who is a creative offensive talent from the perimeter. Joe Ingles, God bless him, he's a great pick-and-roll player, but he's kind of limited. He's up to a point, to a point. Kind of like Bogdanovich in Indiana, right? It's nice when you've got someone doing all the stuff. Once you need him to be that guy, he's not talented enough to do that. So they need someone like a superlative talent on the perimeter.
I'm with you on your side of the fence.
We're describing a great regular season team, though, right here.
I don't think, look.
You need stars. I don't know where the stars are going to come from.
But that's to win a title.
Yes.
You are still at the point with this team. You would like them to grow into a team that wins. Last year, they won in the first round. They pulled an upset. You would like them to be able to win in the first or second round, maybe get to a conference finals. You don't need to shoot for the absolute stars at the beginning. And Donovan Mitchell is 22 years old. He's only in his second season. He could turn into one of those guys. I hear older players around the league rave about him in a way that I have not heard them talk about a young player in a long time.
By the way,
I have to trust that judgment and let him develop.
There are other cornerstones. Rudy Gobert isn't old either.
Right.
Like he's like 6-7 years in the league, so they're young. They still got time. I don't know how you can be pessimistic.
I want to see the stock in a couple of years that you guys are hoarding right now.
We'll see how they go.